Hello, my name's Chris Impey, Professor of Astronomy at the University of Arizona. I want to talk to you today about online resources for teaching astronomy. I'm going to give you a whirlwind tour of some of the resources you might want to use to teach astronomy. Most of these are selected to be free and open access or open source. Let's start with some fundamentals. In the pandemic and afterwards, a lot of us have had to teach online. There are advantages to teaching online, one of which is you can flip the traditional classroom. You can have students watch the video lectures outside of class, thus freeing up your class time for more engaging activities and interactive work with your students, which is highly recommended. There are also different advantages to mixing synchronous and asynchronous modes of learning. You can get the advantages of both when you teach online. Also, remember there's a large body of data and literature now on active learning, which shows, based on evidence-based research, unequivocally that active learning and active engagement leads to better learning outcomes for your students. And this means, of course, going away from lecturing and starting to use a variety of techniques where students are much more actively involved in their learning, working sometimes in groups. There are some collections of resources that you might find valuable in your teaching. There are 2 volumes that I co-edited with Matthew Wenger and Sandlin Buxner on resources that you might find valuable. These have been published as ebooks by the Institute of Physics in collaboration with the American Astronomical Society. And I recommend each of these to you if you're interested in seeing the various ways of teaching online and the best evidence-based learning strategies. There's also the Astronomy Center, which has a large number of resources that have been peer-reviewed and validated by research. And these are also highly recommended. They're easy to plug into your class based on whatever topic you might be teaching. Center for Astronomy Education has a large amount of materials online, including entire curricula for teaching introductory astronomy, and also many of the active learning methods, such as Think, Pair, Share questions and lecture tutorials. There's a large amount of information there, and all of these methods have been research validated. And there are resource guides. I'm picking here the website and the collections put together by Andy Fracknoy, who used to be the executive officer of the Astronomical Society of the Pacific. He's made a specialty of finding interdisciplinary ways of teaching astronomy using music or art or science fiction. These are very nice ways to broaden the education of your students and perhaps connect to some of their other interests. These resource guides are fully maintained and kept updated at his website. There are textbooks you can use, and these are free textbooks, of course. The average introductory astronomy textbook is very expensive. Students don't like to pay this much money. OpenStax Astronomy was a textbook authored by Andy Fracknoy and Sidney Wolfe and David Morrison, and it's available online with a lot of activities to go with it, with quiz banks and full image collections. It's a complete and comprehensive textbook that's now used by hundreds of instructors in hundreds of colleges in the United States and beyond. We maintain in my research group an online textbook at the teachastronomy.com website. It's a fully featured online textbook with about 550 articles composing over 500,000 words and thousands of images interleaved, and it's available also free. You may want to use interactive tools in your teaching, and some of them are very powerful indeed. Worldwide Telescope has been around for a while. It's now used and hosted by the American Astronomical Society, and it's moved from being a computer application to being something that works in a web browser and is open source. Astronomers and educators have put together tours in Worldwide Telescope, which take you through different astronomical phenomena, and they rely on databases of objects in the deep sky, which you can weave into your presentations. And if you don't want to use one of the tours that already exist, it's not that hard using the tools to build your own tour. There are also labs and interactives. Here from the University of Nebraska, Kevin Lee is the PI on that grant, which produced very high quality interactives. Originally written as Java apps, now they're also available for use on the web. And then there are some physics simulations out of the University of Colorado. They're also very high quality. Of course, there are many basic physics topics that occur in an astronomy class. And these simulations, again, are validated by research using thousands of undergraduates at the University of Colorado. You may want to use a planetarium in your class as a way of getting students engaged with the sky and then hopefully encouraging them to look at the real sky. Starry Night is perhaps the best known application. It is a commercial product, and so they charge for it. There's an instructor rate and a student rate. The advantage of it is there are many pre-built applications and instructional lesson plans built around night sky phenomena, literally hundreds of them. But if you want a free version of a planetarium program, then Stellarium is highly recommended, and it has many of the same features as Starry Night. There are also many apps you can use on your phone, and the ones I'm showing here are free, but there are others: Night Sky, Star Chart, and a very nice NASA application which accesses many of NASA's great observatories and planetary science missions. These are very friendly ways to get to know the night sky. The constellations are labeled, there's other information available, and students can use them whenever they want and wherever they want. Citizen science is a good way to engage students in astronomy outside of the classroom and enrich them with dealing with real astronomical data. The original citizen science project was Galaxy Zoo, going back a couple of decades now. Thousands of volunteers, citizen scientists, have now classified literally millions of galaxies. But Galaxy Zoo has broadened into Zooniverse, a suite of projects which span all sciences, not just astronomy. And these often have scaffolding in terms of lesson plans and teacher guides, and so the pedagogical quality of these materials is very high. And here you can see a set of icons of the current Zooniverse projects in astronomy, and they literally run the full gamut from exoplanets to supernovae to cosmology. Again, highly recommended and fairly easy to insert in a classroom. And then there are other resources. Images, of course. Astronomy Picture of the Day. It's been going since 1995, so that's 8,000 or 9,000 images with information-rich captions, easy to work into an assignment. Podcast, 365 Days of Astronomy, been going for over 10 years. And again, almost every subject is covered, and very recent research discoveries are often included in what they do from every day to every day. Blogs are collected at AstroBetter website. Many of these blogs are written by young astronomers, young professionals, postdocs, even graduate students. It's a good way of students, your students, learning what a professional astronomer actually does. And there are assessments, of course, diagnostic tools, concept inventories. These are validated, research-proven ways to learn what your students are learning and perhaps alter your teaching methods to accommodate what they are and aren't learning. Videos is what I'll finish with. Of course, there are way too many to cover in a short presentation like this, so this is a highly selective subset. Crash Course Astronomy is by Phil Platt, the Bad Astronomer. These cover all the major topics in astronomy and done in his engaging style. Minute Physics is by Henry Reich, and many of these are astronomical or astrophysical topics. High quality animation, and the content is spot on. Very easy to use, bite-sized content of video on almost every topic you can imagine. Kurzgesagt by Philip Detmer includes very high quality animations, noted for that, and also some very sophisticated topics in cosmology and astrobiology. The educational branch of the TED Talks by various different commentators also has some excellent astronomy videos, very easy to work into your class. And Hank Green, who's been doing this for quite a while, has the SciShow videos, also very topical, including a lot of recent research or upcoming space projects, and highly recommended. This is just a sampling of what you can do in your class. The written form of this conference talk includes a set of links to all these resources, so you can explore them at leisure in your own time. Thank you.